welcome back to our channel. If you think you've seen enough shocking twists on the small screen, brace yourself, because what's about to happen in Beyond the Gates will leave you breathless from start to finish. A revenge plot, a secret alliance, and a bloody death right in front of the main witness. All of this will explode in a chilling chain of events that no one could have predicted. When truth is twisted, morality is buried. Behind seemingly innocent glances, they have woven together a calculated revenge plan against Tomas, whom they both hate to the core for the hurt he caused in the past. No one in town could have imagined that Ted and Eva, two seemingly unrelated people, were secretly collaborating in a dark and dangerous plot. Behind seemingly innocent glances, they have woven together a calculated revenge plan against Tomas, whom they both hate to the core for the hurt he caused in the past. Eva's motives are filled with deep hatred, costing him everything: his honor, his job, the trust of his loved ones. The plan began with meticulous calculation, from following Tomas, learning his habits, to finding the perfect place to carry out the kidnapping without being detected. Eva, shrewd and charming, was the one who lured Tomas into the trap with sweet words and a seemingly harmless rendezvous. She took him to an abandoned house on the edge of town, where the streetlights did not reach. Tied to a rusty iron chair, unable to move. The first thing he saw when he opened his eyes was the hateful gazes of Ted and Eva. They didn't need to say much, the silence between the three of them was filled with resentment. However, deep down, Ted didn't really want to kill Tomas. He just wanted to show him off, to pay back what Tomas had done. But Eva was different. There was no room for forgiveness in her. When the confrontation reached its climax, Eva suddenly pulled out a dagger hidden in her coat. Without any warning, she stabbed Tomas straight in the chest with a desperate and angry force. Blood gushed from the wound as a terrible testament to the resentment that had accumulated for so long. Ted was stunned. He didn't think Eva would actually do it. Everything happened too fast, too cruelly. Tomas let out a weak groan and collapsed. His death happened right in front of Ted, leaving him in absolute shock. In that moment, Ted's reason was completely paralyzed. But there was no time to collapse. Ted knew that calling the police meant that they would both face legal punishment, and to him, that was unacceptable. With trembling hands, Ted cleaned up every trace in the abandoned house. He found an old tarp to wrap Tomas's body. He didn't ask Eva another word. There was a terrifying silence between them now, an unspoken complicity. Ted then drove for hours through the night, carrying Tomas's body to a remote area he had known from a trip many years before. There, under a rotten old tree, he dug a deep hole with his own hands. Sweat mixed with tears, soaked with dirt and guilt. As the body was buried, Ted stood silently in the darkness, looking down at the newly leveled land, trying to convince himself that it was all over. But deep down, he knew this was only the beginning of an even more horrifying series of tragedies. Back in town, Ted and Eva pretended nothing had happened. They continued their lives, awkward and tormented. But Tomas's death could not be easily forgotten. His disappearance quickly attracted attention. Family and friends began searching. The police opened an investigation. The questions were endless, the looks suspicious, and the pressure was heavy. Ted lived in constant fear. Every night, he was startled awake by nightmares in which Tomas appeared, his face pale, his eyes bloodshot, whispering curses in the darkness. Eva was different. She appeared strangely cool and calm. But no one knew how she was struggling with guilt inside. Every time she saw blood, every time she heard a police siren, every time she met the eyes of Tomas' acquaintances, she felt as if she were being stripped bare before the world. And then, cracks began to appear in the alliance between her and Ted. They no longer trusted each other. The wary looks, the hesitant words, the long silences like invisible knives cut into both of their minds. One morning, Ted received an anonymous letter, just one sentence: "I know what you did." From then on, Ted lived in hell. He tried to examine everyone around him, suspecting even those closest to him. He stalks Eva, fearing she will betray him to save herself. The tension comes to a head when a private investigator hired by the Tomas family finds holes in Ted's story. The unanswered questions, the unexplainable gaps in time, begin to make Ted a potential suspect. Eva begins to avoid Ted. She feels backed into a corner, and the silence between them is now another blade, sharper, more dangerous. Then one night, Eva looks at him coldly and says that she will do anything to protect herself. The fragile alliance is officially broken. The secrets that were once buried are now sharp weapons that both can use to destroy each other at any time. And as the police get closer to the truth, Ted and Eva are forced to choose. Continue to bury the crime with the risk of being discovered, or betray each other to survive. The secret they once tried to bury with Tomas's body is now rising, haunting them every minute. And the biggest question remains unanswered: will this crime really be buried forever, or will it all explode in an inevitable tragedy? When the tension is pushed to the limit, every link in the chain breaks. Trust disappears, alliances collapse, and guilt begins to eat away at both of them from within. But beyond the gates does not stop there. Or simply a conscience that can no longer bear it? Ted and Eva's journey of revenge has reached the point of no return. And you, our viewers, will be the ones to witness the truth being revealed. Layer by layer, until all is left is ashes. How many lies are still hidden? Will anyone survive when all is revealed? And who will be the last to pay the ultimate price for this sin? Stay tuned to Beyond the Gates with us so you don't miss any of the dramatic moments. More shocks are yet to come. Subscribe to our channel today to be the first to discover the most shocking secrets, the most unexpected developments, and the dark stories not for the faint of heart. Secrets, the most unexpected developments, and the dark stories not for the faint of heart.